Hi everyone, welcome back to my series on Transport Fever 2 Race to the North. We are in Sheffield where we finished last episode, and it is running very smoothly. Now that it is connected to the network, whoa, we just jumped across to 85 with a new ship and the Mogul. That's an interesting new train that might be really good for our industry. Uh, so, what I'm planning for today is to actually reach the north. Our target will be Newcastle, and at the end of last episode, we did complete Sheffield. And what's kind of interesting is that we turn on the stations. Everyone wants to leave Sheffield. And if we look at the main station here, we have 267 wanting to go to Birmingham, which is kind of unexpected. I didn't think that many people would want to immediately get out of town. But there's probably a lot of work down here with the industry probably expanding a little bit more down here at Birmingham. So at the moment, we've just got individual lines into the town and then they have to switch. And then we've got an individual line in between Sheffield and Birmingham. But I'm thinking today, do I want to implement a extended line instead of just city to city? Maybe make an actual long line that goes all the way up to Newcastle, and they don't have to stop and change trains. So at the moment, they have to stop here and change trains to over here if we link Leeds and York up today. And so I've kind of preempted it by extending the line around the corner here so that it can keep going. And then maybe what I can do is put an extra platform here. Yeah, so I've already done this at around the other side. And I think I've already done it in Birmingham as well. The idea maybe is heading further south. With a single line. I don't know. Do you guys want to chime in with your own opinion? Is it better to just have a connection here between Birmingham and Sheffield and then they change and then they go Sheffield to Leeds and then they go Leeds to Newcastle? Or should we just have a train that stops at every station and goes from Newcastle and then comes all the way down maybe to Northampton or maybe straight down here into Oxford even maybe. And then they would change here to go to Reading, London, and to the south. Maybe Sheffield is a big change area where you can change at Sheffield and go across to Manchester and Liverpool. Yeah, and this could be a loop here that runs across here. And we've got some terrain to worry about here. So we probably want to tunnel or we'd run around the bottom side here, probably out of Sheffield here. Sheffield could be kind of like a hub for both sides of the north, both sides of the mountains here. I'd be interested in what you think either way. I don't know. What do you guys prefer? Do you prefer to do just single steps, or a big long line? Obviously, later on in the game, when you've got more power, more power. Oh, we've got a few things in the way here. Yeah, more power, longer trains, longer platforms, faster trains. I definitely side on the longer train, but we don't have that at the moment this early in the game. 1885. I probably should leave some space here for on the right to get around to that industry. Right, so at the end of last episode, I was ready to do Leeds and York. And so that's what I've done. I've got commercial, industry, York, and Leeds. And they don't have anything running yet. But once we get this connected, does a straight line give me enough room? I think it does. I think there's enough room to run. Oh, but that's not a good angle to come into here, is it, Sims? All right, so we run what have I got, the left or the right? I should have the left, right? I do have the left. Okay. That's not too bad, I guess. We'll double track it. If you're wondering what the reason for this center line that serves no purpose, it's really just to make sure all the tracks are actually level and snap together. But it can in the future be, it could get changed around. If I wasn't doing the straight through all the way through and I was just stopping, the two tracks actually could be these two. And then this is the end that pulls into here. And then this doesn't have, that's probably the good, on the positive side of just running single stops and then terminating, means I don't need to run through. So I can do something like the double line would be these two tracks here, and then it would pull in here and then it would come back out. This track here would end up being a cargo platform, or maybe straight through where it doesn't even have a stop here, where I skip a station every now and then. And then you could have a terminating train here and then a train that doesn't stop here. That's an interesting idea too. Maybe, what do you think of this? Like, these two tracks end up being a terminating stopping train, and then you have another two tracks without a platform here, and it doesn't stop here. It stops at this one, for example, and then goes straight and keeps going. And then on this one comes in and stops here and doesn't continue. But you could get onto this one then and then run all the way down. Oh, that's interesting. Or I could, what I was just saying before is just have terminating trains or trains that stop here, then stop here, then run up to Newcastle. I don't know what would be better. I guess, like I just said, I could have the terminating trains and the straight through that skips a couple of stations. All right. Like I said, Leeds is done. And what I've done up here at Newcastle to get ready for today's episode is I did not put a loop around the town. Why did you not put a loop around the town, Sims? You just spent last episode raving on about how good your loop system is. Well, first of all, we have some terrain that is not really nice for the loop. I would have to maybe had thought about that before the town had expanded. The town has been reduced down to 400. So we have a lot of empty space in here at the moment that will, once it's connected, it'll obviously expand. So instead of, I thought I could maybe just bring it in on this side for the industry, but then the commercial's over here, so it made more sense to split the town and not to push as far as the residential. The residential is sort of all the way back here. So I'd obviously need to do a bus system like I would typically do with a normal build. And I've got the two center platforms are for passenger trains. And if I brought in a long distance train on one side and a short train on the other, I have that option, I guess, or just stacking trains. And then I've got cargo on this side, more than likely for the industrial, but it doesn't really matter. If the industry comes in on this side, it doesn't make much difference. But I've got a platform for the commercial and the industrial to come in. And what are they? Food and commats. So I want food to come in on one and commats to come on the other. And then if they come in on this side, you can quite clearly see that's an industrial line there, a cargo line, and then there's a cargo line here as well. And then the little mess in the middle here looks complicated, but it's not really. Basically, it's three main lines coming in, two on either side. The one in the middle, when they come in here, they can drive straight in, or they can cut a double track cross to here. And then on the way out, if they're coming out on the right, it merges into the middle here for them to leave. And this one here merges into the middle for them to leave. I could have double switched this one for the leave, but I actually prefer this setup for this type of station setup. And I really want the passengers in the middle so there's no crossing over the cargo if I can help it. Just gives me lots of options with the cargo in the future. All right, this is a long trip. We do have some space in here. This is all fairly flat. Yeah, it's pretty flat through here. So if we aim through here and then straight down here and then around here, I think that'll work. Okay. We don't want to turn too early because there's a huge hill there. All right, left track. Run straight to here. And we want to miss that there, so we'll go there. Whoop, what? What do that for? Okay, we'll straight line it to here. And then we can bring it in to the left one. Okay. So for today, I think I might experiment with a long line, maybe not all the way down to Oxford or something crazy like that today. Be interesting to see what you guys think. Okay. Not bad. So if it was a straight through, it's going to stop here, and then it's going to stop here, and then that would that would connect to the Sheffield, which is heading to Birmingham. That will then connect to Sheffield. So we could stop here and then keep going, and then we could stop here and keep going, and then we could stop here. And people could change and get on that Sheffield train. If I do that, I'll just see how it works. It's a very long way from here at Sheffield up to Newcastle. But our little trains here, they should be able to handle a long distance trip like that. If we are, we'll need a switch here. And where are we? That's Sheffield. So what, we extend the Sheffield train maybe. We obviously need a lot more trains on that line. What have we got? We got 300 people waiting, and our trains can only carry 112. And we've only got one train on the line. Is that him coming now? No, that's the loop. All right. Let's pause it. Let's look at the line. We want to just see what's visible, otherwise it's way too complicated. We're looking for the Sheffield to Birmingham. After Birmingham, it would add the station to Sheffield. Whoops. Why is it doing that? Sheffield passenger. These are all the wrong platform. York. Yeah, it's a really long trip. I don't know whether this is the smart play. And then, okay, the right hand platform's the correct one, but this should be 2. If I get that one onto 2, it's doing a weird thing, like it's doing the loop to come back around, but it'll fix when I do that. No, it won't. It'll adjust it all. All right. Put all of the stops in Sims and then fix the platforms. And then we're back to Sheffield passenger, and the line starts at Sheffield, which is kind of weird, but and then it goes to Sheffield. So Sheffield is is correct. It's on 3. To Birmingham, it should be 4. That's the problem. Ah, okay. And then it goes to Birmingham 3 and then back to Sheffield 3. Passenger 3 all the way to Newcastle, and then these ones should be 4s, right? On the way back. If I change them all to 4s, they'll be happy. They're all happy now. Let's have a quick look. Yeah. Okay. All right, now these stations up here will not be busy yet. And we'll call this, we'll actually call it Birmingham to Newcastle, right? Even though it starts here at Sheffield. And then what I can do is I can put, they will all need to move across to platform 4, which they're all ready to do. They're all about to move over to that platform. And if we buy, what's our new train? The Mogul. So it's a few Ks quicker at 75 instead of 72. Our horsepower is a little less. Our tractive is 80. And our emissions are 74. So our emissions are less, but our tractive is a lot higher. I think we'll go with the Mogul. I think this works really good for with that high tractive effort. It's probably good for cargo, right? We're going 7. Yeah. And I'm going to buy 2 straight away. Because with 300 passengers here, 2 trains will move 240. So, to be honest, I actually want 3. And now I've got to think about what? Signaling now, because this section of track is not so I think what I should do is drop all of this here, get rid of that one as well. Okay, so what I could do is put a line in the middle here, which brings the train up to terminate and then jumps on the right hand track on the way back down. So I could do a terminating train here with this center track. Depends how busy the line is, right? If it's really busy, that might be a problem. Okay, and then I'm just going to turn on, no, not that one. I'm going to turn on signals for a second, because I did put signals there in the middle, but I think they're going to need to be a little tighter. And this is fine here because that's a terminating train. It would have been better if it came around to this side and connected into here, right? We'll look at that later. Okay, so I probably just want to put a couple of extra signals here. So we got Birmingham, Sheffield, Leeds, York, Newcastle. And we also want at Leeds, York, I want a couple of trains. I want a train to come out of here, but I don't have a line yet. Okay, so we need a new line, which on the, so it'll be Leeds, York, here and here. Yeah. Got to name it. Damn, I keep hitting the wrong button. This is our Leeds loop, right? Okay, I got it right. Sorry. And then another new line, which will go in this direction. Too easy. We've had lots of experience at this. What are you making? Similar colors again. What does it do? It just goes through the palette, right, and picks the next color in the palette. Okay, that's loop 2. And we've got access to loop 2 from this one. We'll stick with the central on the loop for now. Did I build a second one? Yeah, I'll put one over here. It's a little bit different in the industrial area. And we'll do the same again. I did pick the Pacific last time. I didn't get mixed up with the General, did I? I got mixed up with the General. I got a funny feeling. I don't know. Did anyone see that? Pressing play, and what I'll do from this one is while they're coming out, I'll buy a mogul to put on the Newcastle line. So we'll buy that. And we'll put that on the Newcastle line. Let's have a look. No, I'm right. Yeah, top speed 72. I did pick the right train, the right engine. Okay, so now I suspect that the people in Newcastle will start coming down here, but the problem will be is with this city, I do not have a good bus service. I don't have any bus service. And I will need one to get the people into... Okay, so you come out of there and you run up to where? Up to here. No, I'm going to need a bus. I'm going to need a bus here. How far does this reach? Well, it's fine on the industrial side. Okay. And how far do you reach up the back? Yeah, got a real problem there. So need one on this side and probably one up there. Okay, so what if we... Now with the stagecoaches, I don't like running a long bus service. Do I still catch... I still catch almost everything at the bottom of the screen there. Let's do that there. That catches all of that. And then I'm going to need one up here. Look at that traffic. Okay, so we need to avoid the traffic. How do you avoid the traffic, Sims? Well, in that case, you want to come back down this road. So you want to do that. Okay, there. And... Let's do that one. All right, let's put some lines in. So it'll be... Yeah, so what I was trying to say was with stagecoaches, I really don't like having long bus. I like having like just a single pickup, um, and we'll name it bus Newcastle 1. Now the trick with him is for him to not to go up that road, I guess. But it should start clearing fairly quickly. All right, we'll live with that. That's Newcastle 2. And then this one here, what are you going to do with that one? Oh God, that's terrible. All right, we'll live with that. I hate it. It messes with my affliction in 1,000 different ways. Okay, Sims, where do you want your out of the way? Okay, we can put it in here. I don't want it too far away from the actual stop. All right, buy vehicles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 of them. The first 3 can go on line 1. That's a fairly short line. And then we'll put 4 onto 2 and 5 onto 3. That'll do to get us started. And hopefully most of this traffic will disappear, and we've got passengers here. Okay, so temporary can I get a rail that just jumps off here? Literally just jumps off here. And we'll turn that around. And we get a mogul +7. We put you onto there. And we probably need a signal there, just in case we've got any trains heading north yet. I have a dog barking in the background. That could mean there's someone here for a delivery. Let me pause. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Where were we? Well, our passenger line should be up and running. It should have a few trains on it, and we should start to see trains coming back up from Birmingham through Sheffield up here to Leeds, where we've already got 190 that want to head south. Well, that's kind of understandable, right? Like, nothing against Newcastle or the people of Newcastle, but this is not going to draw too many passengers to head north. In fact, most of Newcastle might want to leave Newcastle, and the passengers heading north will be people heading back to Newcastle. So the the route south will more than likely be very busy. So let's head down to Sheffield, and we've cleared all of the passengers here because we ran a couple of trains in a row. Yeah, we're Birmingham is 94, and how many are heading back, Sims? 89. So yeah, the train. I guess here's okay. Let's finish with this idea. All right. If I've got really heavy traffic heading south and not so heavy heading north, I guess it will balance out a little later. I guess. Um, maybe it will balance out a little, but you know, the south is drawing a lot more people. Look at this. A lot more people are going to want to travel down there. So, and then in the middle of this trip, so like Sheffield's in the middle, this will probably be busier around Sheffield. Birmingham is the end of the line, and then they're transferring right around to here. Now this is the busy station because that's the connection. What we really could do is rip this out here and get them to travel, like we said in earlier on, all the way to Northampton. And maybe this Northampton is a turnaround train, and then this Northampton ends up being the long line that comes into here, potentially into here, and then that puts it directly onto the loop. Now that's interesting. If we could put the long train directly onto the loop, that would give them access to all of those stations, and all of those stations would need to make one change, and then they could run all the way. And I really like how many options I've got with this setup. Like I've got different routes I could take. I could even turn it down this way and bring it down into Peterborough. You know, I could have a Peterborough, Leeds, Newcastle. That would be an interesting option as well. Yeah. Okay, so how many trains do we have on the line? And how's this mogul going? Let's have a look at her. She doesn't have as much bling as the Central Pacific, but to be honest, I like that train a lot more. However, look at that Central Pacific go. It's got more horsepower, so it gets up to speed quicker. So if I made a mistake here, they've both got the same amount of passenger cars on them. Well, he was empty. And, oh, you're empty as well because you're heading north. No one wants to go north. Maybe the mogul with the less horsepower takes a little bit longer. I think I could put a train on at Leeds here and empty, because I don't have any trains coming. Oh, you're a liar, Sims. You did put a train up north, but that's full. It's coming in full. So if they're coming in full, they will not pick up many passengers. I think I've made the wrong choice here with the maybe they should be swapped around. Maybe the mogul does the loop, the town loop, and the Central Pacific does the. We'll go 1, 2. We'll put 2 on there. We'll put them both on at exactly the same time. But what will end up happening is they will stack and they'll have to wait for separation. Am I right in thinking that these passenger cars go better with the mogul? Okay, let's finish off with a check on passengers now with passenger numbers now that I've got trains spread across the line. So 2 means it's up to 100, right? Yeah, 2 means it's over 100. One dude is 100 and the second little dude represents the second 100. So I've got more than 100 here. I got more than 100 here. I got more than 200 here in total. And then Birmingham is the end of the line. It should be further down, shouldn't it? And this one here's got almost 500. No, that's, how did you manage that, Sims? It's got more than 300. Well, that's weird. I make that just over 300. Oh yeah, it's over 300, so it's 4 dudes. That, yeah, okay. It's over 300. And then I've got the similar problem over here, which is why Sims, you should be probably just running it straight into the loop. The North London loop would be a better, and then you wouldn't have as much traffic on these platforms. They would just run straight through with no changes. And then maybe end the line here at York. Because these trains up this end are running 22, 63. Oh, he's full. 80. Oh, we got a lot of... Hey, my buses must be doing okay. Where are my buses? Show me bus stops. Oh. Oh, I've got a bus stop here that's got max number 100. Wow, okay. And then this one's a problem. This is maxing as well, right? Almost 55. And then this one was fine because it's only a short trip and it's only this back section here. Okay, let's just double. No, that just put 1 on there, Sims. If you go here and you do 12. Ah. I've heard about this mass clone business. There's someone who loves to mass clone that I know. I don't typically mass clone very often. There's so few amount of times that I've mass cloned on my maps that I was kind of surprised. I didn't even really know how to do it. Well, all right, I knew how to do it, but I don't know. Does this need mass cloning? Yeah, it does. Okay. Mass clone. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. It's that's his thing. All right, it's his thing. I already stole his weeding off him. Look how pretty it is. No weeds. All right. That should be. Here they all come. Okay, look. We got a traffic jam of stagecoaches now. Oh, look. My stagecoaches are the only things on the road. Look. All of the traffic's gone. All of it. That's a stagecoach up there. And there's stagecoaches there. There are no vehicles on the road. None whatsoever. I mean, literally 0. I'm not joking. There could be something over here. I don't have a bus service over here. No, not even over here. What about down the back down here? Nothing. Not a single vehicle. It's a ghost town. All transport has been banned in my city other than catching... Oh, what are you doing, sir? Hey, what do you mean, hey? Owning your own vehicle has been banned in my city, mate. You're the only one. Pull over. Catch a bus. He's going to his industrial building. Show me where it is. Oh no, I don't want to travel. Oh, sorry, I don't want a video. I want... How do I see it? I want to see it. He's going to it by car because he's way over in the corner over here. Okay, that's fair enough. All right, that's fair enough. Maybe we do need a bus service over here. Okay, it's getting fixed. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. This is our new train, the Mogul, leaving Newcastle. I'm going to go for a ride. I will see you guys next time, where we will basically finish up I think we'll be able to finish up our passenger service across the entire map next episode, probably. And that means that we will be able to put that whole phase of the game aside. So phase 1 of the game was passengers in the south and connecting, the southern cities up with passengers. Then I focused on the industry and the production in the south, and I pretty much got all those cities done. Phase 3 has been new passenger links, so the North London Loop, and now this extension all the way up to Newcastle. I think we can finish up with the extension on the other side of the map, which is Carlisle. And that one's a little trickier than what we've been doing with the cities that are over on that side. Maybe my standard build is not as simple over there, but I think we'll tackle that next episode. And then I guess the future will be the industry, the productions in this northern area and the productions in the central area. I'll probably break it up into the 3 parts like I normally do with my gameplay. I've already done the south. I'll more than likely focus on the north and then meet up in the middle. The middle ends up being the most difficult, usually. So I'll probably be able to move on. Oh, look at that rock almost on the tracks. You didn't clean up any of this, Sims. You've got weeds all along this line. Well, it's heading up, into Newcastle. It hasn't been tidied up yet. The cleanup crew will be in before next episode and clean all of this up. So have a great week, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.